man-beard comedian.
Hello, everybody. I'm here to talk to you about getting your whites white and your blacks black. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Vote Republican this year.
You know what I mean.
Oh,
Just
man.
real.
What have I done?
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast. Enjoy your dog whistle. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Simon King, and this is What's Wrong. You're listening to this podcast, and I love you for it. Your ears are wonderful specimens of auditory sucking upness, but your eyes are better. Watch it on YouTube, youtube.com/thecitizenstrange. I'm very glad that you are listening and are watching the podcast, and I'm very sad that our wonderful Mikey Greenwood is still not with us. Nothing's happened to him. Don't worry. It's just that he's decided to go into stasis until the world becomes a better place. He tried to grow a daffodil and it died. Made him very sad.
Yeah.
Put himself in stasis. He'll be up in 2135. So we're looking forward to that podcast.
Wake up in a fire?
He will wake up in a fire. On fire. That's a bad way to wake up. I'm just telling you, right? Waking up on fire? What the fuck? Ladies and gentlemen, our guest this week. Sure, fuck. Our guest this
You release this weekly? No.
we release it when we can.
Sure.
It's just like whatever it's possible, whenever we're available. Like sleeping around.
Yeah.
Give it up for Jarrett Campbell, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for having me.
I like how I'm clapping but not making any noise. But the people at home can see that I'm clapping, but the people at home can't hear that I'm
I
clapping.
can feel the excitement.
They can.
Yeah.
This is what this is. This is energy, right?
It's palpable.
Yeah, hold on. There you go. See? People at home know. Wouldn't that be great if that was just the podcast? It's just
Just fucking you screaming noises at me and me reacting.
the Necronomicast. And you just answer the questions normally. Like, if I've been in comedy for a while.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. And this is nice because you're just visiting Vancouver.
I am just visiting, yeah.
Just visiting Vancouver.
Yeah.
From the Big Smoke. Is that what they call it?
They do call it the Big Smoke.
Big
I
Smoke.
think.
What does that mean?
I don't know. There's, I guess, a big industrial town, I guess, once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
Once
For
upon a
people who
time.
don't know, we are, of course, talking about Toronto.
Toronto.
Toronto or Toronto?
Toronto.
Toronto.
With the N. If you
Toronto.
say Toronto, you
Toronto.
can tell that you're not from Toronto.
See, I pronounce things weird because I was born in England. So I say
right.
things like a friend of mine the other day was saying to me, I said, have you seen that Last of Us? He goes, us. I go, The Last of Us. He goes, us. I'm like, okay.
But I always get that bagel.
Bagel?
I say bagel.
Bagel?
It's
Bagel?
wrong though.
Bagel.
Bagel.
Bagel?
Bagel.
Bagel.
How do you say bagel? Bagel.
Bagel?
A bagel. Bagel. All right, you were a bad guy to throw to for that.
I'm so glad that people are listening to this because they're like, what the fuck is happening? like it's just
You were
stuck.
born in England?
I was born in Sheffield, in the north of England.
When did you move?
When I was 5, I moved to Canada in 1982.
How about that?
If I'd have grown up where I was fucking born, I would have had this accent and that. Like
I was born in
fucking
Germany.
You were born in Germany?
Two immigrants.
Yeah, dirty
Two white
immigrants.
immigrants.
Two white
Okay,
immigrants.
yeah. Wrong
That's our new act. Two white immigrants. Everything's fine. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it will be. We just get out and be like, we already spoke the language.
Yeah,
I don't feel alone at all. I blend in.
yeah, you're fine.
I'm fine. Yeah. Did you speak German? Do you speak German?
Well, yeah. No, yeah. I do. I'm poorly, but like my mother only speaks German.
I think
to me.
all German is spoken poorly.
Well,
I don't think
no,
I've ever heard it spoken properly.
It's funny though. Just this week, because Marito knows all about it. I posted a clip this week of me doing a joke about being from Germany, how my mom speaks German, and I do a very aggressive German impression for a moment where I'm like kind of screaming German, and it somehow got into the algorithm and made it into Germany. This video,
Holy shit!
Quite popular.
Wow.
Germans fucking hate me.
Germans hate you?
They don't like me at all. They hate my
it's
impression
'cause of
of
your
them.
joy.
They accuse me of not being able to speak the language properly. They think that, well, most of them have just called me an American doing another typical American version of what a German sounds like.
Well, that's nationalist.
And so I've spent my entire life defending these people, and I gotta say, after this week, They're all fucking Nazis, dude.
Yeah, you're glad we won now, right?
You're fucking
yeah.
right, dude.
Yeah, at the time you were like, I don't know.
I've been privately struggling with that
Pulling
loss.
down all your pulling down all your posters, getting rid of your helmets with the spikes on it. Fuck
Grew out
this,
the rest
guys.
of my mustache. I was like, fuck this. All right.
Yeah, you're like because when you're out during the day, you just have mascara making it look like a regular mustache, and then you go home at night and you're like, finally, I can feel the fight.
So that is kind of along the lines of the impression I did, and they don't like that.
They don't like the impression. Oh, but that's their problem. Should have fought harder.
So I feel more removed now than I ever have. I mean, listen, they fought hard.
They did. I love that Norm Macdonald bit about how like Germany attacked the whole world.
Yeah, and
he's like,
almost
and you think you're like, no, it was close.
Yeah, when are we going to start worrying about Germany?
It was close, you know.
Yeah.
No, I find it's funny because my mom and my dad, they toured in a band in the 60s and 70s, and they would go to like the American air bases in Germany and stuff. So they would spend a lot of time in Bavaria and Garmisch and places like that. So my mom speaks German, Italian, French, and English.
Oh wow!
And my dad's dead. And so, like he no longer speaks. He used to, but now he just speaks. He speaks through Ouija boards. That's his communication. No, but and so they traveled all around. But my mom really fucking loved Germany.
Yeah,
and this was in like 1970.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful land.
I want to go.
We got a couple historical hiccups there, but
a couple historical. But you know what?
The land itself.
Here's the thing.
Is beautiful.
England had way more. England had a historical hiccup for like 300 years.
I don't know. Comparatively, the hiccups were all pretty bad. But I think that England's just run long. It's like Catholicism. It runs deeper and longer.
I think England is just the abusive uncle you're used to.
Do you remember that Stanhope had that really good joke? Where he's like,
he has great.
Did you hear that that new Pope used to be a Nazi? He's like, I'd be more worried if they're like, did you hear that new Nazi used to be the Pope?
It's true though.
Yeah.
It's true though because it's like I think too with like, and I think the thing about like being European or like it's because like so I moved to Canada when I was 5 and then I went back to England in 2015 and I lived there. I went to do some shows before, but I went and lived there for a year, and I immediately realized how actually very different England is from Canada. Like North America's weird. We're in this weird little suburb of the world, right? Like the world is happening. It's Europe, it's Asia, it's Africa, it's fucking well not so much Australia, but it's happening, right?
Yeah. Hey, leave us alone.
But it's happening, and then over here we're just like, fuck, man, monster truck.
It's different, but I find too though, man, like because a lot of people, because we're all very Americanized here in North America, kind of it all kind of blends into one big picture. But Canada's also very different from the States.
Oh, it's very different from the States.
It's even just from your basic conversations, you can tell how different it is. Often.
Yeah.
So I think we're all.
Do you know what I find that too is in England? Because like obviously as comics, like. I swear a lot in my act because it helps me. It's very it's part of it's colloquialism, but it's also how I adapt. It helps me get across points in a more communicative way that's more familiar.
Expressive. Yeah.
But
I don't think that you, by the way, because I know the way that you do comedy, but I think you still use your swear words well.
I like to think that.
You're not littering your sentences for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
you're using them because you fucking like them and they hit hard.
I think. Well, that's the thing is I think so. What it was always to me is like if I'm yelling about something that I'm really passionate about, and then I go fiddlesticks, no one's gonna fucking believe that.
No.
It just takes away from it.
But there's because that there's the impact of the F word, like in terms of like think about like a band like Pink Floyd or something.
Yeah.
When they just say fuck, it has impact.
Yeah.
They use it very specifically. And very sparingly.
Purposeful.
Right. Yeah. But then you have people like you, and I think I like to swear as well. And I think it has it hits hard, but then I grew up in a place out here where people just say the word fuck in place of thinking quietly. Yeah. So I was over at fucking fuck, man. Where the fuck was that fucking?
And the weird thing is, I totally understand what that conversation like. As a Canadian, you're like fucking right?
Yeah, fuck, bro.
Oh, fucking hell, fuck you, man.
It's like, bro, just have a fucking independent thought to yourself.
Yeah, but I think too. Like when I was in England, they really don't like the word motherfucker.
No. But they like other words that we fucking hate.
They throw cunt around like it's nothing.
Oh, I love cunt too, right?
It's such a good word. But mother, and it's also so powerful here.
But do you think cunt is only so good here because we don't use it as much, right?
Yeah.
Like that's why
they use it in Australia. They use it on the news in Australia. Fucking cunt weather's terrible.
Wow.
fucking cunt shark.
It's a great word.
They do that, but it's a good word. It's got a good sound. Cool. I always had I never used to say on a stage until once years ago. I had to follow a female comic who used it a lot on stage in an audience that was not comfortable with it. This is like 15 years ago. So it was like even more so at the time.
This is here, sorry?
Yeah, and the audience was very uncomfortable with it. Like, they were very, very uncomfortable. And I went up after, and I'd never said it on stage before, and I go, you know, I know a lot of people don't like the word cunt, but it's the past tense of the word can't. So as soon as I figured that out, I was like, oh, any word is any word as long as you want to fuck with it and make a thing. But in England, they were shocked by how much I would say motherfucker. Because motherfucker's it's a great expression.
But I guess if it's not a part of your language to say motherfucker, and then you really piece that together, like I always thought it was interesting if you really, really went back to the first person who called someone an asshole. Because now asshole is so fucking...
Yeah, but back then...
It's watered down. But someone was called just the hole in a human's ass.
Yeah.
Which was, if you really broke
that's
that
way
down,
worse than calling someone an asshole.
It's awful.
Saying it
Dude,
that way around,
asshole.
That's disturbing. I immediately got uncomfortable.
But how funny is that first person? I
Yeah.
was like, you're an asshole. That's the greatest. Fucking, that thing hits hard. It slaps now.
See, how do you know you've invented a swear word, though? See, that's like the first person who was like, shit. The first person who said that was like, I don't think anyone's going to go for this. Like, how do they market a swear word? How does it go from... It's like a street joke,
No,
right?
I think what happens is you probably did it, and just like you said, they're like, fuck this, no one's going to buy into this. And then a couple years later, you hear someone else saying, you're like, the fuck, that was mine! Right?
Yeah.
And now nobody fucking...
Yeah, nobody buys into it. Because, like, I wonder... Like, because we haven't invented... Swear words have not... There's been no new swear words in a long time.
No, we've invented, like, different... We've put things together
like
nicely.
ass hat.
Yeah.
Ass hat's
dick
new.
nose.
Dick nose.
Like, we've put things
Cock bag.
together that are good.
Yeah.
Right? But we're just borrowing from other already... organic words.
But we're essentially just doing fusion swear words.
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
We should be doing something original. Like, I mean, can we invent a swear word now? What do you think? So it has to be something with a hard sound to it. Like, fuck.
Yeah, like, I always... You know what sounds like a fucking swear word? Fracking. Fracking sounds bad, but that's just digging for oil, right?
Just digging for oil, yeah.
Just digging for oil.
Yeah, it's difficult too because like you don't want to get too close. You don't want to do hack stuff. You know, you don't want to be like feck.
Yeah,
well that's Irish.
Stonk.
Stonk's good.
Is that too close to stink?
It is a bit too close to stink. Fwap.
See, F is
a good one.
F
It's
comes
a good
in
one.
hot.
It's a good one.
I always say spunk.
Spunk is a great
Spunk's a
fucking
good
word.
Yeah.
It's a good word.
I always say spunk.
And I like it because in the 20s, spunk meant, look at the spunk of that one. Hey?
Yeah.
It's got a lot of energy to it.
Right. Spunk was like pep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spunk, you're up there. You're spunky.
Yeah.
I say. Look at that fellow's real spunky.
It went from pep to cum.
You know what
It's an
people never
evolution.
call each other? Foreskin. Because you talk about asshole.
Yeah.
Nobody ever
calls
says
each other
foreskin.
It's got dick hood.
It's a lot of word, though.
Whoa, you know what the funniest one is, though,
What?
when I was a kid?
Yeah.
Penis wrinkle.
Penis wrinkle.
It's so funny.
Penis wrinkle. He's
Yeah.
the guy who leaves presents at Christmas.
No, he's the one that leaves oranges
Germany.
in your shoe. Yeah.
There's an orange in
Yeah.
your penis wrinkle will come. He will leave a present for you. Put your stocking up at the penis wrinkle will be here.
You know what the craziest swear word is? And it's in Spanish.
Yeah.
It's culero.
Culero.
Ooh, what is it?
Culero. Very homophobic in English.
Oh, okay, no good.
But in Spanish, it's not. It's
It
it's
sounds
like
like
cunt.
it sounds like a new kind of Acura.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, it sounds like an old cut
Acura
Acura. It
Gulero.
sounds like one that died.
Yeah.
Like the Rabbit. It's like the Volkswagen Rabbit. It was there, and people have pictures with it, but it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
The Gulero.
Is that your favorite swear word in Spanish?
Well, because it's like cunt.
Yeah.
Like coño.
Coño.
Coño is like cunt, basically.
Yeah.
But culero is like you just say it to your friend. Dude, I remember my dad used to call me culero, coño, cerote, all these things that are like really, when you translate them, they're awful.
I was gonna say, 'cause the fact that I'm thinking about words now that I would call my friends, and
Yeah.
my dad called me those when I'm a kid is a bit different.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. That's how people talk to each other back home. And I remember I told my dad one day, I'm like, yo, stop calling me that.
Yeah.
And then my dad's like, why are you being such a baby? Like, that's just how we speak in El Salvador.
Yeah.
And I was like, then I went to El Salvador. Everybody talks like that.
Really?
Like grandparents, like kids, everybody talks like
I
that.
want to go there now.
It's nuts.
I'd like to go there.
It's like it's a very filthy like language.
Oh, my people.
Yeah.
I like that.
My people.
like
but culero translates to ass fucker.
Oh,
Oh, well, let's see
So,
now. That's
your dad,
nice.
come here, you little
Ass
ass fucker.
fucker.
ass fucker.
You little piece of shit.
Hey. Wow.
Yeah, cerote means piece of shit.
Oh, wow. My dad just didn't hug me.
Similar effects, though.
Similar, right? Like
We're all doing stand-up
We all
comedy.
became comedians,
We're
right?
all
Like
doing
it's all
comedy.
just
Yeah.
you can hurl insults and expletives at your child, or you can just ignore
I
them.
went widely hugless too.
Oh, widely, widely hugless. I think that's all. Is that no? Because I was gonna say, like, I think that's like an older white guy thing, but you're not that old, are you?
I mean, I'm turning 35 this month.
Oh, you're.
But also, you guys are tall. You know
I'm
what I
not
mean?
tall.
Nobody wants to hug a tall guy.
What the fuck
People
does
love
that
to
mean?
hug me.
Yeah.
I hug my mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she's a woman.
Yeah.
Why would your man father want to hug another grown man?
My dad tried to just hug me out of the blue
Yeah.
without warning.
Oh no.
A couple of years ago
Oh,
at
no.
Christmas, he just like, and I could tell you, he must have been thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's planning it.
I do not know, man. I picture he was like eyeing me up across the dinner table the night before, being like, "I'm gonna fucking do it this weekend." He's like, I'm gonna wrap him up.
He's been fucking using those hand things
Dude, I
for
said, I'm
weeks.
gonna wrap him up. I swear to God, I was standing there and he did it. I guess he just didn't know when the fucking moment was, and I was saying goodbye. And I hugged my mom, and then I was just saying something to my brother, and I saw him out of the corner go like that, and I slipped it like a punch, dude. Like I did that, and he whiffed it.
Well, you
And
can't
then-
start doing that, and you can't just
We
throw
gotta
that
talk
at someone
about
as an adult.
You
right?
gotta talk about
like my son. I hug my son all the time, but it's a fine line between like affectionate, loving father and Tom Brady. Like you want to fucking be in there. You know what I mean? You don't want to fucking. But I hug him all the time because I'm very aware of like that's an important connection for me too. Like
Sure.
because if my son wasn't a huggy person, I wouldn't.
But
make him.
you know what? You'll probably never hit Tom Brady levels when you kiss your son on the lips, because he had added to that situation the fact that he was in a towel getting a massage, and it was on camera.
Yeah, that's difficult. That's real Dalai Lama shit.
Yeah, the dolly.
See that
That's
Dalai Lama?
crazy.
Dalai Lama asked some kid to suck his tongue.
He did.
That's you can't come
Dude,
back.
I've never said that to a girl in a nightclub. Like, why would you fucking?
But as a
break-
dolly hit that age where we're all just gonna be like,
Yeah, with a
He's
Dalai Lama.
87, right?
Is he that old?
I think so.
Why would you
I
want your
think so.
tongue sucked at 87
Why?
by anybody?
Oh,
it's
imagine
gonna come out of your head.
sucking an 87-year-old's tongue.
He's the last
At any
one
age.
too, isn't he? Like he's the last one. There's not gonna be any more, right? Isn't that what
Not
they
after
said?
that.
No. You can't lose your license
Could
that
have
way.
been.
Wow. Man, because imagine you went to an old folks' home and just some regular bog standard fucking old white guy who's like,
Hey, suck my tongue.
Yeah, then you're
Yeah,
gonna suck
fucking-
his tongue,
yeah,
but it's
okay, of
fucking,
course.
Dalai Lama.
yeah, I know. That's
weird.
But then again, also, don't you want to be like the guy who's like, you think you got a fucking story?
Yeah.
When I was 9.
Yeah.
And they're like,
it's
no
like
way. And you just pull it up on your phone, check this shit out.
Yeah,
And you're
that
like,
story's
holy
good.
shit.
Story
It's
has to end with, and I fucking did it.
yeah, he's a god on earth. Yeah,
it's like
he is.
sucking Michael Jackson's dick.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. It's exactly the same
So basically,
thing.
we're equating Michael. We're basically saying if the Dalai Lama did Thriller, he'd get away with it.
He basically did.
He's never moved like
And
He
that.
did
now
a
we-
religious thriller.
And now we have to imagine the Dalai Lama doing bad and Thriller. Like, I mean, just take a second. The Dalai Lama just moonwalking away from meetings. Just
He never built a roller coaster in his backyard, though, did he?
what kind? No, he didn't.
No.
Maybe he did. Maybe that's why they kicked him out. Everyone just shows up and like, what the fuck is
That was
this
the most
about?
blasphemous thing he did.
Yeah, it was the most blasphemous thing he did was just build a roller coaster.
roller
It's like,
coaster.
I'm a god on earth. Also, I like to go round and round. But that's the thing. That's the problem with being a religious icon. Is that there's going to be people who are like, well, fucking, I'm like, no. You can't just flat out say that to me. Because the fact that he said it, like, it's not like it's some misinterpreted in some way.
No, but okay. So what I was gonna say before, with given his age, is he gonna get that card where he's like, maybe now they have to go from the PR angle that his eggs are just scrambled at this point. Like maybe he's too old, and he's saying
Yeah.
shit that's just coming out fucking.
That's your
weird,
only
right?
play.
Because if he made it fucking 80 years or whatever, not
Without
asking
getting
someone
caught.
to suck his tongue or just not getting caught.
Yeah.
But the fact that he did it so blatantly and in front of the world tells me
Yeah.
that maybe things are just slipping now.
yeah,
that's a real Mike's on
a thing.
moment.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
I think yeah, man. Because in front of everyone, people are filming you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's definitely like.
I can't believe
Yeah.
that guy goes anywhere without a camera in his face. You know? Wow.
Yeah.
What's the path to enlightenment? He just keeps handing out lollipops. That's why he was doing it.
And he's got old man mouth too. Right?
Oh,
Ew!
yeah. Ugh, old man mouth. Ugh.
A little bit of white in the corners of
It's
his
like
fucking
fucking
lips.
putting your tongue in an old wallet.
Oh,
I think we made Marito throw up.
Yeah, the old wallet doesn't lick back though.
No, it That's an expression they used to have in the old days. The old wallet doesn't look back, hey? That's some spunk for ya. I'm so sad that this is going to go, no one's going to understand this anymore.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to really know what that means.
And that related to several. There was to several things, right?
Yeah.
Cameras did that. The fucking the Jack in the Box did that.
Yeah.
We had to wind things. You used to have to start a fucking car like
You did
that.
used to have to wind things, yeah.
We used to wind stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Suck my tongue. And he just pops up.
Oh my god.
The dally in the box, the lamb in the box.
Yeah, llama in the box.
Lamb in the box. What's the most
awesome.
insane thing other than that? What's the most, like, I'm not talking about crazy shit, like terrible shit, like that like sexual predator shit. But what's the craziest thing an old religious icon or an old icon, never mind religious, could do that would like make the news that isn't something like that?
That isn't something like that.
That isn't something terrible. It's like, you know, like a rapping granny moment. But like, what do we got?
Oh shit! For a religious icon,
Kick flips. What do we got?
It's so hard to imagine it outside of the realm of something sexual because
Yeah.
it seems to be where it always lands.
Well,
That was
bro, and it actually happened. Is Martin Luther King.
Uh-huh.
The FBI tapes that they released of him, and he's just fucking women in
Oh,
hotels.
he was
So
he was-
funny.
he was
Sexual.
crazy. That
So
guy,
funny.
But that guy, you know what? Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, he's fucking Martin.
You gotta
Luther King.
realize you're Martin Luther King Jr. You're on borrowed time, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know they're coming for you.
Yeah.
This is not like it's there's no
Anybody
fucking way.
who's too clean is dirty. We know that though now too.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too, is like and especially when it comes to comedy, when it comes to
Oh,
stand-ups,
man,
right?
dude.
I mean, any comic that's like talking about how clean they are. Like, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop on Seinfeld.
Dude, it's
Any minute now.
It's the fucking White Knights, man. It's also it's the holier than thou comics.
Ugh.
Always got fucking dirt. I will never look as closely at somebody who wears a bit of shit on their sleeve as somebody who's squeaky clean and calls everybody out on their bullshit.
Yeah.
Because like that self-righteous shit.
Yeah. It's
It's
weird
just
how it
usually
always
a
goes
fucking
hand in
cover-up.
hand with that, right? Like it's almost like
It's almost, dude, synonymous. It seems to be.
It's it's almost always the UFC fighter that's super cocky that gets his clock cleaned. It's the same thing. It's like anytime a comic, like, what was that? Bill Cosby went through that period of like, he was just like telling people pull their pants up, and he's like being really fucking terrible. And then it turns out he's one of the worst serial rapists in American history.
yeah. He knew
And-
which way to lean though publicly, I guess.
Yeah, I do. And yet, and that's what I don't understand is still people defend him. I'm like, what the? Come on, how much? What? Like, he
Yeah.
literally went. He's only out on a technicality. He should have died in prison. He's only out on a technicality, and then there comes the art from the artist thing. Like, can you separate the art from the artist? Right?
I mean, I think people obviously can't, right?
Yeah.
And then they're to a degree. Here's the thing, though. That's such a fucking big conversation, right? Because you can.
That's why we're here, buddy.
You can separate. Yeah, that's what we're doing
We're
here.
changing the world, man.
No, but you can separate potentially. There's a big difference between separating, say, a Louis C.K. from that incident than separating a Cosby from his incident.
oh
Like,
yeah,
we're
there's
talking about
degrees of it,
different
too.
fucking
There's
degrees, right?
Like one is a
Cosby was a full blown fucking rapist.
yeah, one is a fucking, you know, one's a kind of a piece of shit who, like, definitely, you know, a sexual predator in his own way, and one is someone who's like fucking legitimately deserved to and did go to prison for a long time
Yeah.
and should have stayed there. I mean, yeah, I think you can do that, but it's like, okay, so it's like you look at like John Lennon, right? John Lennon smacks around women and is fucking terrible to his kids and stuff, but then it's like also the Beatles, the rest of the Beatles weren't responsible for that. So it's like,
Right.
do you hate Beatles music because John's
No,
in it?
that's where I think
that's
people,
the thing.
No. I think that's insane. I think that's insane when
Yeah.
one person takes down an entire, like, especially if. But then there's, of course, you have situations where the people are complicit in that they know what's going on.
Well,
and
that's
they don't
different.
Speak
yeah.
up or say
that's
something,
different,
right?
Yeah.
But
Then that's hard to prove too,
Sure,
because
of
like, do
course.
they know, right?
Yeah, and I just think that when it really comes down to it, I think that's a different conversation, separating associated people from their actions than the actual human being that was
Well, because the
responsible
thing
for
is,
it
I
from
think
their art.
I think the thing is like everybody probably knows someone who's terrible.
Yeah.
Whether it's ancillary or, I mean, especially in comedy, we all probably know someone who's, whether we've worked with them or know them. We may not be friends with them because you don't
And there's
have that
sleepers
connection.
that we don't even know how fucking
And that's
terrible
the thing.
they
You
are.
don't know how terrible they are, and then it shows up. Like I knew a guy who was just a fucking great dude. We did shows together and everything. Turns out he was a creeper. I didn't fucking know. I didn't know because I'm not on the menu.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, people are like, how don't you know? I go, well, because I don't see, they're different people.
We knew a guy. I mean, you would probably know who he is, but there was a guy from Toronto comedy who ended up getting caught with like child porn and shit like that, and he was that fucking exact example of the
Really?
person that leaned so fucking hard into the way of being the good guy that it was suspicious.
Yeah.
And then he turned out to be fucking
So
evil,
weird.
dude.
Like, Jesus fucking, I can't.
And
like,
everybody was defending him.
Everybody was
Yeah.
defending him, dude.
Yeah, and
But you
dude,
know-
when I first met him, he used to love picking me up.
But dude, there's
all
a
the time.
funny. I'll tell you something. with
Really?
that.
Remember that?
he used to
did.
pick
He
you
would
up all
always
the time?
pick me
He
up.
did like to be picked up. So there was this. Okay, so there was a funny
Fucking weird, dude.
There's a story.
That's fucking weird.
There's a story with that.
And you're like, I got
guy.
a boner.
You know what? I could.
He's like holding you out like this.
I mean, I could just say his name, right? He's just a convicted fucking
If he's convicted,
sex offender
he's
now who
convicted
has
sex
nothing to do with the scene, right? Kai Fox. Kai Fox. Do you remember Kai Fox?
I don't know him.
Doesn't matter.
I think
We
he was
can-
like a just Toronto guy.
What's that? He was a Toronto guy.
Yeah.
He was a Toronto guy. But
I
there
mean,
was,
I don't go to Toronto much, right?
There was
Because
a-
of the warrants.
yeah. Case in point, they're gonna catch you.
Yeah, they're
Don't
going
go
to catch me. Yeah.
But there was another comic that I know, and so this guy, I guess, like edited video and shit too. And so this,
Jesus
of course, I
fucking
did. It's
Christ.
also on the nose, right? But this comic had at one point given him, prior to the convictions, obviously, had given him videos of her old man making tomato sauce, right? Like she wanted to get like an old Italian family. She wanted to making like a nice little montage maybe for a birthday or something like that.
Yeah.
And she gave him these videos, and then all this shit went down.
Yeah.
And then she ran into him on the streets well after he had. This is like a year.
Oh, so
or
she
two.
had nothing to do with it. She just hired him as an editor.
No. She hired him as an editor way before all this.
Oh, way before all this.
So
okay.
she had just sent him this stuff when
Yeah.
he was a good guy.
Oh, when he was a good
Okay.
guy.
And then it wasn't during the conviction. Hey, listen, I know your hands are a little tied, but I really,
Oh, you're busy.
it's a rush job.
But I really
man.
don't
It's
know
a
how to
rush
use
job.
Final Cut, so if you
Yeah.
can help me out.
I know your hands are a little bit tired. I know.
It's a rush job. No. So she, anyway, so she saw him on the streets, and she had come up to him and confronted him, and she was like, "Yo, listen, dude, like, can I get that shit back that I sent you?" And he was fully disgraced at this time, right? So he didn't even like being noticed, like he was like trying to like escape it, and she's like out loud in public, being like, "Yo, give me my shit back! Like, I want my shit back from you."
Yeah.
And he tells her, he's like, I can tell you with fucking great confidence that the police have all of my video. Like, I don't have any access to any of those things
Yeah.
anymore on my computer. And I always just like the picture that there was these cops in this fucking room just going through this guy's videos. And it's just child porn. It's just the worst. And then they just get to this old fucking Italian man in a sleeveless shirt in a garage just stirring tomatoes. And one of the cops goes, "Oh, you sick fuck, we're gonna get you."
Oh my god!
The poor guy. He's just going to lawn bowling one day and fucking 8 squad cars. Woo! What the hell? Wanna go on, huh? They found out the secret of my sauce.
I was making when the moon's a full.
Ah, god damn it! These are people that come here. I can't. You know, it was. I remember listening to once. I think it was like behind in the actress studio, whatever, with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And they asked him like, "What's the worst thing?" And he's like, "Defenseless. Those that are defenseless suffering." And I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn, that nails it.
Yeah.
That nails it, because there's no, and in any capacity, I'm not just talking about stuff like that. I'm not just talking about
It's a
humans,
personal level to an
inhumanity.
economic level to a fucking
For everything,
Yeah.
even to the just the luck of the draw, like people who get sick that don't deserve, like you're just like, what the fuck, man? Like, and it's like it just must be so impossible to be like a police officer or anyone who has to deal with, or first responder, people have to show up, like to deal with the terrible shit in the world. And then, like, as I did a gig for first responders once, and I was booked to be super clean. And as soon as I got there, I'm like, they don't fucking want that at all.
Never.
They don't want that
Oh,
at all.
they're so
They're
twisted, man, at
way
this
more
point.
fucked. They're the
Yeah.
only people I can think of that are more dark than comics.
So they know what the inside of a man's head smells like.
Yeah, like a buddy of mine is a cop, and he told me he's like, you know, I like comics because he's like, you guys have the same sort of sense of humor. And he goes, but I can't make the jokes. He goes, so I got called to this. Because I got called to this scene if this guy gets hit by a truck running across a freeway. It's like, it's just red mist. But I get there, and the guy's wearing a Flash shirt. And I'm like, That's fucking amazing. Are you
that's
shitting
fucking
me?
awesome,
Are
dude.
you shitting me?
That's awesome.
Guy's a fucking firefighter or whatever.
I grew up in a cop house.
Did
I
you grow up in a cop
my
house?
old man
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
cop.
Yeah.
And I
Old
heard
man
some
came home
shit.
yelling about people making pasta sauce. These motherfuckers out there on the street.
No, but I saw that straight up, man. I just remember my old man talking about some younger cops that have been through some shit.
Yeah.
And they are all like, we're in a new age now.
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
You take a leave of absence and you go to therapy and you do
Yeah,
all
no,
this
back-
stuff, right?
no.
Not the old guys, right?
Back then, you wrote your name on a bullet and kept it in your pocket.
That's it,
Right? That's
right
what you did.
there. And dude, I remember him looking out the window. Dude, you're absolutely right.
You're like, happy 10 years. And you-
Kiss it every day.
Is this one big enough? Yeah, it's big enough.
No, dude, I remember though him just staring out the window one time, just having a cup of coffee. Yeah. And he was just talking to me about that shit. And he goes, I just thought that you knew if you were gonna become a cop, you were gonna have a few ghosts. I was like, what
Jesus
the fuck, dude?
Yeah, no one
But
ever-
that's the old dude. Like that. It's
Yeah.
like we don't think about that when you think about first responders. They all have them.
Yeah.
They all fucking have these ghosts, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of they're supposed to be. Obviously, we see how people are portrayed, and the bad apples really do fuck things up, and but there's they are supposed to be the veil between the shit we're not supposed to see.
Oh yeah, no. The thing is, the stuff that like, so it's difficult because I'm a very very left wing dude, but I do believe, like the concept of defund the police. That's not get rid of the police. What that is like maybe we should instead of buying tanks. Like, instead of buying tanks and machine guns, maybe we should think about hiring people who can help, help the police as well. Yes. Because if you show up at a wellness check and you're just you're a cop and you show up and you're like, I don't know what the fuck's behind that door, and you've got someone with a serious mental problem.
Yeah.
And they're escalating it and you don't have the tools to deal with it because it's not your fucking job. And you're like, I'm here to keep peace, not to fix years of broken people.
That's and to that point, that's another thing that I've spoke with him about, and he'd made the point of being like, because it's so easy for people to be like, yeah, you go to one of these places where someone's fucking naked, waving a knife around with mental health issues behind this door, and then you have people being like, well, it shouldn't be a cop going in there, it should be a mental. He's like, I also don't want to go in.
Yeah.
Nobody else will. He's like, I have to. He's like, I have to go in.
Well, and that's the thing.
And yes, in an ideal world, yeah, we have these mental health workers who are trained to fucking go into these violent situations and de-escalate them and speak to them, but it's not the world we live in.
No, it's not the world we live in.
And it's not the world we'll ever live in, but there just needs to be better things in place to deal with that. And it starts, though, it's the big picture. It's not in those moments.
No.
It starts from the ground up. It starts from when people are kids with mental health disorders, or people that are coming from places that are affected, whether it's by poverty or just coming from situations of abuse and everything. We need better things in place for them as they come up and grow up. It's
100%.
In the moment, those situations are very impossible to just be like, God, it should be somebody else going in. Where are they?
They're gonna do one of two things, right? They're gonna hurt themselves, hurt other people, or go to an open mic, and we don't need any of that shit.
And you know what?
I mean? Like the
Some
last
would
thing
say
we
that
need
go to
is
the
some
open mic does more damage.
It fucking does. We're out here trying to make a living. This guy's on stage being like, the right triangles are the devil. Oh,
yeah, man. We could have all just finished this a long
And that's the guy
time
who
ago.
gets a fucking Netflix special too, because that's the one night there's a scout in the audience. It's a guy on stage. Spiders in my eyes. I like him. He's fresh,
Yeah.
interesting.
It's
Doing a
gotta
lot
say
of cool
anything.
stuff. Huge Instagram following. I swear to God, you could be fucking. I swear to God, Hitler would get a Netflix special now because his Instagram following would be fucking nuts. They'd be like, he's got 2 million followers. We gotta give him a
2 million.
special.
Oh, he'd have more than The Rock, I think, just because people would be interested in what's he
What's going on with it? Well, I mean,
We all
look at
follow
Trump.
people that we're fascinated by, we don't agree with.
Look at Trump.
Right? Yeah.
Right. Trump. Half of the people watching Trump are watching the train wreck.
Yeah.
Right. They're just like, see what happens. I mean, the dude, motherfucker tweets
I
the
would
other
say
day.
that the left
he just tweets World War III. That's all he tweeted.
I know, it's fucking incredible.
I mean, he's a former
No,
president.
but the left is equally as fascinated by Trump as the right.
Oh, yeah,
We've all
100%.
been...
Even more.
The left are the reason he's in. The
Well,
left
the
are the
left
reason
is...
he's in.
We're all... You know what? I wouldn't even say fascinated. Everyone's obsessed to a degree with him because it is fucking fascinating that it happened.
And
that
he's
we've allowed
and the
it to
thing
happen.
about him is, I mean, look. Don't get me wrong. He's not a fucking good person. He's most of the things I fucking hate. But if you look on paper, in every measurable sense, George W. Bush was a far worse blight on the American society, and Dick Cheney were far worse for America than.
Well, they were wartime presidents too,
yeah,
right?
and also they killed 1 million brown people.
Yeah.
Like just off the top of their head. Trump tried to build a wall and fucking, get pushed around by Putin, but in reality,
Trump incited more of a civil war than he did.
well, he
anything
just
else.
showed them who he was. Because when Obama was in, they could pretend. They could pretend they weren't who they were. And they'd be like, oh, no, we're all fine now. Obama's in. a half black man who is a career, like to a degree career politician who plays the game, is not left wing or socialist or anything, is in charge. Now we can pretend. No. You can't. And that freaked them out. Yeah. They were calling Obama a socialist. That motherfucker isn't even close to a socialist.
Hey, listen,
Bernie's not even a socialist. He's a democratic socialist.
I think if you get to any time, if you can get to that, reach that level in politics, all right, it doesn't matter. Like, some people say the right things, and some people do better than others. And I think that Trump was just dangerous because of the shit that he said and the things he put in people's heads. But when it comes to Obama, anybody else, when people talk about Trudeau, you don't reach a certain level of politics without being able to fucking lie through your teeth to human beings.
No one gets anywhere.
You have to be a professional fucking liar.
No one gets anywhere without owing favors and being owed favors. Nobody fucking gets anywhere.
It's a dirty game, man. Politics. To reach the height of politics is a dirty game.
Insane person wakes up in the morning.
Money. You're all protecting people's money, whether it's left or right. You're protecting
what kind of an insane person wakes up in the morning and goes, "Yeah, I can run this"? Like, how fucking nuts are you? Are you crazy? Like, I always thought it'd be funny to get a job in politics just because I have no high school diploma. Like, I'm so uneducated. I'm a comedian. I have all this terrible fucking material out there that could easily, and it would just be hilarious.
And it wouldn't be any worse.
No. And honestly, I think because I've been paying attention, I might be a little better than some of them. I mean, I'm going to be better than Marjorie Taylor Greene or whatever the fuck her name is, right? I'm pretty sure she's probably.
Do you think
like,
your comedy would suffer though? How would you balance being the Prime Minister of Canada and also
no one would know.
No
one would know. No one would know when I'm doing what.
Sure.
Right. I would come out there and like, ladies and gentlemen, with the G7. Anyone from out of town?
This guy usually does at least 40, so he only did 10 today. That might have been political.
Just the fucking State of the Union is just me doing crowd work. How's everyone doing? What's your name?
What's your name? Bombing.
Yeah, just bombing. It's like, oh, you think you can hurt me? I've played Lethbridge. You think you can hurt me? Are you fucking nuts? I played a miners bar, not miners, but miners, like a silver miners bar right after they got paid after 2 weeks on. You think you're gonna fucking scare me?
Oh yeah,
dude. Holy
there's certain
shit.
neighborhoods you play on the 15th of the month, and you know you're in trouble.
Yep. And pretty much most comedy clubs because it's all the comedians.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's like, dude, I didn't get booked this week. I'm a professional comedian. I love when comedians are like, I'm doing a tour, and it's just like the 4 open mics in their neighborhood. I'm like, that's not a tour, motherfucker.
Yeah, you got one brewery in there.
Yeah, a tour is when you're sleeping under a couch at a friend's house because you have nowhere else to be.
Yeah,
I'm on tour. Did you get on a plane?
Yeah,
nope,
people
you're
do
not on
like
tour.
The fucking. They make the poster for this is where I'm going to be for the next month. I'm like, I would hide fucking 2/3 of these.
Yeah.
Why would you ever want to draw attention to the fact that you're going to be at the Chuckle Pig Fucks and
Chuckle Pig
Fucks? Chuckle Pig Fucks.
Yeah, you're going to be in Ajax this week. Good for you, dude. Hide that shit.
I love it when people are like, do you have any credits? I'm like, I'm playing a fucking basement on a Thursday with 12 people. I don't want anyone to know that I've done anything.
Oh, that's the best.
You know?
I always like when they just rattle off any fucking Canadian credits. Usually funny.
Yeah, it's
here in
pretty
Canada,
funny.
just
comedy now.
Just to the audience, right? When people are like the big one, and like no disrespect on like the fest itself, it's a fucking blast. But when you tell a basement full of people this guy's done a Winnipeg comedy fest, like who gives a fiddler's fuck that you've done that shit?
And the funny thing is,
they don't know what it is. They don't.
No, they don't know what it is, and they don't
man.
care.
No,
someone said to me once, they're like, "You're better to be on like a show on some fucking like MTV." For like half a season and get kicked off than you were to have your hit sitcom in Canada.
100%, man.
Like, you're better to fucking get booted off a show. And, I feel like it's like Canadian credits are like... The funny thing is Canadian credits are also harder to get. Like, every American comic I know pretty much who's been around more than about 5 years has at least a couple of late-night TV appearances. They have all that... Because it's just ubiquitous.
Well, our market is tiny.
It's our market. If you get a... I mean, right now, I don't think there definitely isn't... in Canada, a way to get a half-hour or 1 hour special on television in Canada now at all. That doesn't exist.
No, and if you do, it's not necessarily a special.
It's going to be on an app, if it's anything, or it's going to be a streaming service. But there's no way to get network television now, and there hasn't been for years. The only way you're getting network television now is by doing like shows like Winnipeg or Just for Laughs.
But the demographic they're targeting on network television in Canada is not the demographic that you and I or Marito are going for. Like it's an aging class of people that are watching network television. Here, I mean,
those are my people.
People who
smell of Ben Gay and has people to suck their tongues. That's who I want. But it's true though. It's like I always know when my 1 hour comedy special in Canada has aired when I get like an email at 3 o'clock in the morning from some fucking Brampton. It's like, yeah, I like your comedy. Since my wife died, I've stayed up late. It's like, motherfucker. Like, I appreciate it, but it's also like, God damn it. Like, for me, like, if I had the credits I had in America, we'd have 5 listeners. You know what I mean? Like, that's where it would be at. It would be at that point. But it's just the market. It's just. But it also upsets me that so many Canadians have to, and we do have to leave. We don't have a choice.
It's true.
I mean, like case in point.
There's
What more can I do?
A small. There's like 5 or 6 dudes that don't. Or 5 or 6 people that don't. And those are the people that they celebrate. And those guys work for 25, 30, 40 years.
But we can't all be Derek Edwards.
We can't all be Jerry D. We
can't.
But they literally celebrate this small percentage of people. And those motherfuckers never stop working. They get every show, they get everything. And then everybody else.
Yeah.
You know?
I tweeted that once ago. I really wish like Canadian television would realize there were more than 6 comics in the country. Because they just keep giving, and I don't ever, and this is the thing, I never begrudge the comedian because I understand the comedian. I never begrudge the comedian for the work. Take whatever the fuck you can get. If you're a comic out there, take it all. People are going to complain about it. Fuck them. Take whatever you can get. But I will complain till I fucking die about the industry.
I'm happy to begrudge the comedy
sucks.
itself. I'm happy to begrudge the comedy itself.
Oh, the comedy itself, yeah.
Exactly
But I don't like comedy too. I realize that.
I hate the stuff.
I fucking hate it, dude.
There's nothing I hate more than being in the audience.
I don't even like being around people, let alone like watching people do comedy.
That's the sickness about comedy, though,
Yeah.
is that we all have. I mean, a lot of us, anyways, is that we hate. When it's easier to talk to fucking 300 people than it is to talk to one person. That's the thing.
Yeah. I always tell people I'm like really shy, and they're like, no, you're not. How can you be shy? And I'm like, well, that's because who I am on stage is me, but with a part of me turned off. The part of me that's scared is turned off.
Well, people won't even believe that a comedian is insecure because public speaking is one of the biggest fears that people have in the world. So they believe that if you can do that, then you must have this fucking almost impenetrable.
We should harness this power. The people think we're superheroes.
Yeah. Well, I think the easy pivot is into politics. That's what we're talking about.
I think it probably is, actually, because comedians and politicians share. Like, I remember years ago.
We're all lying up there.
A year ago, a few years ago, many years ago now, an NDP guy asked me to write speeches for him. And he's like, can you, because he was running in a very difficult to win for NDP area. And he goes, can you write speeches for me? I go, I can't, because I'm saying the things that I believe. But what makes these things powerful is that I actually fucking believe them. And you have to be. And I think if you were a politician that believes shit, you're fucked. You know what I mean? Like, I think you're going to make it.
That goes back to what we were saying. I think they're professionals at making you believe that they believe what they're saying, but it's not really in there.
Politicians, televangelists, comedians, we all share some sort of weird Venn diagram.
Yeah.
You know what time it is?
Let's get this!
I just wanted to get
I really threw that in here because we're at 41 minutes.
Oh, are we?
We're at 40, but it's okay.
That was
It's okay.
fast.
It was fast. We're having a good time. We got nowhere to be, but we're going to press the thing. Oh, shit. What did I do? I pressed the wrong fucking button. What is this? Beautify. What's this? Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. You know what this is?
Yep.
All right. This is just for people listening home. Random topic generator. The internet's going to ask us questions. We're going to answer them.
Is it actually a random topic generator?
It really is.
Okay.
Random topic generator. It
Is
says
that
right there,
AI?
random topic generator.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's AI. No. AI sounds like something like an oofy guy says. AI. Like, AI, walking on it. All right, hold on. Okay, here we go. If you had a personal mascot, what would your mascot be?
Ooh, a personal mascot?
Mm-hmm. And you can't say Marito.
It would.
Although I would. If Marito was my mascot, are you fucking kidding me? It would throw my career through the
It would
roof.
just be a big dark circle, just a void.
He's the most positive. You're just at a void.
Just a void.
Just
would
a
be
void.
That's my mascot.
Just an emo
Just
kid.
runs around. No. There's even no void of personality, void of everything.
Just
it's
blankness.
just a big dark sponge, all right? And it just sucks up everything. Happiness,
Guys, give it up for my
energy.
mascot.
Just misery. It represents everything and nothing.
Hello, doctor's my old friend. I love it. That's fucking great.
Yeah.
I love the idea, the existential mascot. I like the idea. of that.
Sure. And you don't have,
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I like the fact that you've probably thought about this before.
You know what? I said it out loud, but now that you asked it, it feels like I have. Feels like I've thought about it.
A mascot. What about you, Marito?
If I had a mascot,
If you had a mascot.
puppy.
Puppy?
Big puppy.
Oh, big
A
puppy.
big puppy.
A big puppy?
100%.
Little puppy dick.
Big
Yeah.
puppy.
Little puppy penis.
Puppy and poppy.
Puppy. Puppy.
Puppy.
That's fun to say.
Puppy.
That, you know what? That's the verbal equivalent of popping those styrofoam packing bubbles. Puppy.
Puppy. Puppy.
What kind of puppy?
I don't want to say Chihuahua,
No.
you know,
You know.
but I would love to have like a nice Bichon Shih Tzu.
Oh.
Bichon Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful dog.
Little
You pay
cutie.
extra for that at the
Marino,
massage
that's
parlor.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
Bichon Shih
Beautiful.
Tzu.
dog.
How big are we talking when we talk big puppy? We talking right around on?
Gotta be big.
You know what, man?
It's a small dog blown up.
Blown
to the
up.
mascot.
Yeah. Like Harvey the Hound from the Calgary Flames.
What about Clifford? The big red dog. Was that too white?
No.
You guys live. You like
No, it's
Clifford?
Red Dog.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know Clifford the big
Clifford
red
the
dog?
big rad
No.
dog. Rad?
Red.
The big rad
He's
dog.
rad as fuck, but
Oh, the big
was
rad dog
red.
there.
No.
I thought you had a tattoo. I thought you were showing a tattoo of him. I was like, that would be amazing. If you're just like, you mean this?
yeah.
You mean-
And you're
pulls,
like,
no, pulls it in and itches it like that. Just
You mean this dog?
Clifford
no, I've
the
never
big
heard
red
of
dog.
it. Just take your shirt off, Clifford right across.
yeah, red dog. Wow, Clifford the big red dog.
Yeah.
I don't know what my mascot would be. I don't think I can think of one. Like what?
Oh, and you know what
I don't
else?
know what suits
Sorry,
me.
what else it would be? Big carrot. Big walking, talking carrot.
A big walking, talking carrot?
A big baby carrot.
Big baby carrot.
A blown up baby carrot.
Blown up baby carrot. I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
Just a little orange, little baby carrot. You know, baby carrots are just the middle of carrots.
Fact.
I feel fucking. I feel so ripped off. Motherfucker, I feel ripped off.
I feel ripped off. I thought it was
I
the
feel
whole
ripped off.
carrot.
You know
baby
what?
carrot.
And a whole different essence too, like different flavor entirely than the big carrot. I like a big carrot.
Jamie, pull that up.
Love a big garden carrot, eh, Gare?
Oh,
You pluck it out of the
garden.
ground,
Shut the fuck up.
take
That's
a big
the
bite.
bad.
That's the best because it's the closest thing to Earth.
That's right.
It is the closest thing to her. Unless
It
you eat
is.
rocks. And then
Yeah.
what are you, a pigeon? Right? Nobody wants a pigeon.
And even a pigeon that eats rocks doesn't get to hang out with the pigeons for too long.
Yeah.
I got that in a fortune cookie once.
You did?
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, you know what I got in a fortune cookie once? This is fucking. Do you remember? Okay, there's a
behind you.
there's a guy.
That'd be a great fortune.
No, no.
Sorry.
I love that actually.
Oh.
But there's a guy in there. He's like a local MP
Yeah.
in Toronto. His name's Han Dong. And one time I was eating out in Chinatown, and I opened my fortune cookie, and my fortune was vote for Han Dong. And
That
I've
was the
never
fo-
fucking been more
Oh.
upset at a fucking fortune.
That's got to break
That
some
was an
election
ad
That's
campaign,
That's
dude.
got to break some election rules, right?
That's gotta break fucking the rules of humanity,
I've heard of Citizens United, but Citizens Cookie? Come on.
dude. Vote
Han
Han
Dong.
Dong. That's my and that was
By the way-
and it was the worst year of my life.
By the
And
way-
I wanted something else.
We all know when Han Solo did porn and he changed his name to Han Dong.
Han Dong.
Hand on.
Hand on. Hand on. Hand off. The clapper. I don't, nobody else is going to know that reference because everyone's like fucking 19. But I hand off. It's like when everyone says, what's the good, I can't, whenever else was, oh God. You see, I can't even, nah, fuck.
No, you're close.
My brain literally just stopped working. My
close.
brain was like,
Oh, you sound like my mascot.
Jarrett Campbell. You guys ever quiet the screaming in your head with alcohol? Anyway, Jarrett Campbell is like, what?
It only makes it louder.
I think my mascot would probably be just like just a quiet person.
Just an
Who's
actual
like-
human.
Just to
human?
just to throw off what's about to
meek.
happen.
Yeah.
Because like someone because as a human, never mind as a comedian, but as a human, I'm a lot. I'm a lot. Like I get it. I'm big. I've got a big energy. Thank God I'm not 6'5" or some shit, because I'd be terrifying.
I always say that about Marito.
Yeah. Oh God, he'd be powerful.
I mean it.
he would destroy everything.
Marito would be terrifying if he was
He'd
fucking
be
6'5".
God damn.
Can I show them? Can I
Yeah,
stand
you
up
can
and-
stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, read a little bit. Oh shit. All right, here we go. Oh my God.
Clifford.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're
6'5"?
casting the next season of Oz.
Yeah. I'll give him a pair of nunchucks, and this is the kid on the
It's
corner.
like, all right, well, you know what? You're not good for this episode of Special Victims Unit, but we'll get in touch with you for the next one.
You know what's funny, bro?
Those are great tattoos, by the way.
But thank you. The amount of times I've auditioned for things like that.
Yeah.
And they say that to me.
Yeah.
They're like, buddy, we're gonna keep you in mind.
Yeah.
Just the way I look.
Dude, no, your tattoos are fucking dope. I don't have any tattoos because I don't want anyone to look at my naked body, right? Ever. I have no windows in my apartment. I have no lights.
I have Jarrett.
Yeah.
Jarrett.
Really?
That's a tattoo of Jarrett.
Oh, that's fucking nice, dude. That's really nice. Where's your tattoo? Huh?
I
Where's
got
your
a few
poppy
tattoos.
tattoo?
I got some bad ones.
He was supposed to get one of me, but he's like.
I do have a tattoo of my actual friend's face on my
Right
ribs
before
that
you
I
got the
in
tattoo,
Vegas.
the tattoo person was like, I don't think I'm allowed to do this
I can't do
culturally.
this. Bro, you know what's funny about that?
And if you listen to the last episode, you'd fucking know what the fuck
If
I
you
was
know-
talking
yeah,
about. Get
go
on it.
back to last episode, sure. But the funny thing is this guy, this is the whitest looking man ever, and it was a Latino dude who
did
put
it?
it on my body from Las Vegas.
Oh wow.
He had no problem doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Because that to me is like, it's like, hey man, I know you're white, but could you draw me a picture of a pyramid?
No, it's weird as an artist to have some sort of conflict like that.
That's strange.
But again,
as a
people-
visual artist, like I said, I mean, anyone who listened to the last podcast knows that like we already discussed doing voices,
yeah.
right? Like I can do some accents and some voices that are very accurate, but I am not allowed to do them,
Sure.
which is quite upsetting. But whatever. But it's fine. It's like you can't. But the thing is like I understand that.
But in the green room,
But in the green room,
the
fuck.
green
As soon
room,
as these
you're on
mics are off, are you fucking shitting me?
Yeah.
Oh boy, Hand Dog's got nothing on me.
the worst sentence Simon King has ever heard is, "We're still on."
We're still. Oh no. This is live, motherfucker. But I think that's also the thing is that's one of the great things about building a fan base has been that like the little fan base I have, it's like having a conversation with friends as opposed to strangers.
Sure, man. I mean, that's when you get in that realm of where you almost, when you really build a fan base,
You can actually
to
make
have-
good things.
and you can make good things, and then on the flip side, there comes a point where you just can't bomb anymore, and that can also become a problem.
Yeah, it can
also
become a problem. It's one of those things too. Where it's like I've very rarely in my life have I played more than, you know, like I've actually played a full room of fans. And like actually the whole place is full. It's not often, but whenever I have, holy shit,
just fire, right?
dude, it's next level.
Yeah.
Because like you don't like
I've
we do
probably never done it.
the dark show. Harris Anderson and I run a dark show, and they're not all my fans, but they're people who get what I do and that kind of comedy. Holy fuck, dude!
Sure.
Like you can create and
when
make
they're on
things.
board, and that's the thing, you have the freedom to create. You can take a step back,
Dude.
right? And you can actually fuck around.
Let go of the edge of the pool and just swim out into the middle and see what happens. And they will trust you. And if you fail, they won't jump down your throat. They'll give you a second to figure it
yeah.
out and get it back.
They'll actually give you 3 specials to fail.
They will. I tweeted that the other day. I was like, my goal in comedy is to get successful enough that I can put out mediocre special after mediocre special and people will still pretend I'm
There
good.
you go. It's on the nose.
I was like, but I was like, you know what? Like, that's actually a good place to be. If your fans are happy and you're happy, who gives a shit?
And those people aren't going to give a fuck that you even said that because they have that, you know? So you're allowed to take a...
That's the thing.
That's
is like,
punching
it's
up.
Like,
Isn't
I
that
don't-
not punching up?
No,
Is
that's
that what
punching
we're
up.
asking?
I think anyone higher up the comedy ladder than you is punching up.
Sure.
Which in my case is pretty much everybody.
but
fucking
sometimes-
punch up the shit.
But you can punch up, dude, comedically. You've seen it. You've been a killer for a long time. We see people. I mean, we're all guys that came from, you know, grinding out, doing 4 shows a night, hitting these fucking open mics, dying at these hell gigs
Yep.
in the middle of nowhere, you know, getting fucking...
Yep.
We've dealt with people who fucking hate us. We've dealt with people who love us. We've talked to 2 guys falling asleep at the bar. We did it for years. And now you see some motherfuckers who... God bless them, man. They have the fame, they have the success, but they never went through what we went through. They never took that fucking journey. They never got as strong as we did.
Yeah.
And you see them, you know, collect the checks and stuff. It's hard sometimes to not be a little bit bitter, to be like, damn, you're not actually a real fucking stand-up. You're a famous person who now has the luxury of doing stand-up for your fans.
I think I heard someone say once that they're like people who are really good at stand-up are usually terrible at promoting themselves, and people who are really good at promoting themselves are usually terrible at stand-up. And
Yeah.
it very rarely, nary the twain shall meet. And I think that you look at that situation and you go, man, like, grass is always greener, right? Like, I look at people who are able to promote themselves and are able to get these huge fan bases and stuff, and like, I'm like, oh man, I wish I could do that. I wish I could get that level. But then I'm also like, but then I wouldn't be the comic I am.
No.
Because I'm spending my time doing that shit. And it's like, and also, I think there's a certain thing, like, I think to a degree, to get that level of success in that way, you kind of need to lack shame and humility.
You
I think
have
need
to.
not have
It's
it.
a self-awareness thing, and
Yeah.
I think I've always been under the I've always thought that because I've always said that I'm like the people that work the hardest will
Yeah.
eventually pass the people who just have talent. Right? If you don't
No,
have the
100%,
drive,
100%.
but you're talented, they will. But if
Yeah.
you can fucking find a way to combine actual talent with hard work, you will get yours. It
Yeah.
just happens at different times.
Yeah.
Happens at different times. But if you have both, if you actually have drive and you're fucking funny, you're gonna get yours. It will fucking happen. It's gonna come. It just happens at
I
different
like
times.
to believe that. I had when I was early on in my career, I had a little bit of success, and it was very much like I didn't understand how any of it worked, and I didn't believe that I deserved it, and I didn't know how to capitalize on it. And this was also before the internet was what it is now. And I look at it now and I go, I'm so glad in a lot of ways. Like, obviously, part of me is like, oh man, the stability that would come with that security. But I'm so glad in a lot of ways I didn't get further ahead because I don't think I would be anything like the comic I am.
No,
I don't think I would be even close.
Dude, I don't think it would be. And now, you see now with how the game has changed and it's become this social media game.
Yeah.
And you see these dudes now that are fucking selling out these tours and they're going
Yeah.
on the road and everything. And then when you go see them live,
They're rarely.
well,
they're
you
rarely
can tell
well
that
advertised.
all your fucking energy is in that daytime content.
Yeah.
Your energy isn't in the stand-up anymore. We came up at a time, and I say at a time, dude, I've only been doing this for 11 years, but it's changed so drastically in the last 4 or 5 years.
Dude, it's changed drastically. Yeah, and that last
we came
decade
up where
has
it was
been
like-
fucking bonkers.
It was important. The only thing that was fucking important
Yeah.
was getting fucking funny on stage.
Yep.
Get fucking funny.
Yep.
Be better. Be the best guy on the show. Be the best guy on every
Yep.
fucking show. Murder every show. Be the guy that stands out. Be the guy that people come up to after the show and say, you were fucking the best. That's what mattered. Now, what matters is your social media following.
Yeah.
And so you get these guys, and again, that's where I go back to what I just said, is I think that if you can amass that following, but you still work on your fucking stand-up, that's where longevity comes in. When you can go watch somebody,
Yeah.
they have the following, but then you go watch them, and they can also fucking pull it for an hour on stage and kick ass, that's the long career. A lot of people are going to flash because they have that
Yeah.
fan base, they have that quick shot, whatever, and no disrespect to them, they're working their ass off to produce this content.
Get
Like,
yours,
it's
man.
not a bad thing,
Get
man.
yours.
Do your thing, but those people, it shows who's putting all their effort into that content, and not putting their effort into writing jokes, and not putting their effort.
I
into being
think
on
you're
stage.
absolutely
You have
right.
to find that balance, and that's where the hard work comes in.
I think making your life about producing content can really affect your stand-up because it affects the motivation behind what you're doing. It's like when you first start getting paid full-time for comedy and that's all your living is, all of a sudden you're like, oh man, if I don't book gigs, I don't eat. So I got to fucking figure out. It's like all of a sudden taking chances becomes a problem because you're like I remember in 2010, I was pretty much ready to quit stand-up. And then I had this sea change and I changed styles and I became much more honest about who I am. But there was a real problem there, was that I was like, all of a sudden I was selling a completely different thing than I'd sold before. I put away impressions and characters and voices for 6 years. I just put them away. People who started in Vancouver, after 2010, and people who knew me after didn't even know I could do that shit because I just didn't want to do it anymore because I've got to learn, which in a way made me a much better comic in the long run. But the amount of times I distinctly remember once right after my first album Unfamous came out, which was much more like kind of goofy and shit, I had switched to that style that ended up being like the Special Furies and that kind of stuff, which is much more political, much more social. And I remember being in the club in Vancouver, the Comedy Mix at the time. I think it was still Yuck Yucks back then. And I was on stage, I was headlining, and I think I was about 2 minutes into a bit, 2 minutes into the set, but I'd done this bit called War with the Sun, where I just went out and yelled about how the sun's a piece of shit and we have to attack the sun. And it was a political, social thing. It was setting up what I do now. And there was a guy like 2 rows back, and he put up his hand. And I was like, what's up? He goes, I really like your album, man. Like, I just wondered, like, I kind of came to see that. And I was like, I'll tell you what. And this actually happened. I go, I'll tell you what. I'm going to do my set. If you don't like what you see, I will give you a signed copy of my album for free. I will do that right now. But let me do this. And then at the end, he was like, I gave it to him anyway. But he's like, oh, I get it, man. I get it. But it was like, that was what was happening with the few people that I had. But the fan base that I've built after that has been exponential.
Yeah.
Like, and so I think, but I also don't think I would have stayed in comedy if I hadn't done that.
But so, I think a lot of the time your growth as an artist looks a lot different than what people want your growth to look like.
Yep.
They want more of the same.
Yep.
They want more of the same. And if you stay doing the same, that's stagnant to you. And that feels cheap.
Well, and
it
that's not
feels
growth.
like it's not growth at all. You're spinning your tires. But a lot of people, they sign on for the first one, and that's
Yep.
all they want. And then they come out and you're like, oh, now you're trying to fucking weave a tail up there. I just
Yep.
like when you were punch, 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 punch.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but if I was still doing that, I want to blow my fucking head off.
Yeah, and that's it's Radiohead, man. Right? Radiohead releases a guitar album in Creep, and then they release a guitar album that's pretty good in the bends, but that's actually a better album, but it's still guitar-y. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, fucking OK Computer shows up, and everyone's like, I don't like this. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's and then all of a sudden, everyone's like, that, and now they want OK Computer. So it's like, no matter what you do, people will always, but whatever decision you make artistically is going to cost you some fans and gain you some fans. Sure. But it can't be about that. Because if it's about raw numbers, and that's where the social media trap is a problem. Because, like, I've been really pushing social media lately to try and kind of grow, because I'm like, I gotta.
That's part of the growth of the industry.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying, because I'm also analog, right? I came from a time before I mean, my break came before YouTube existed, right? So it's like a totally different time. And then all of a sudden, I'm like getting these views and getting these numbers. All of a sudden, they're starting to actually be active, and I'm like, but how many of these people actually like what I'm doing? Or that's why I'm very careful to post mostly stand up, because I'm like, see what I do, because I would rather have less fans that are actually there for what I do than a huge amount of numbers and nobody's fucking engaged.
Dude, yeah, 100%. Dude, I was just, like I was saying at the beginning of this podcast, that, like, you know, one of the first things I've had that, like, popped on social media, it's also the highest volume of people telling me to go fuck myself than I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's my first time hearing an actual fucking real subset of people tell me that I fucking suck.
Well, that's how you know you've made it.
Before.
If you upset some people, you've made other people very happy.
Right.
That's the goal.
No, it is, because you don't want to become someone who just panders, right? No. But then sometimes when someone's like, you suck, and then you're like, yeah, fucking I know. Yeah. You don't think I fucking know, dude?
It's so funny, because, like, I had a video get some views or whatever, and a buddy of mine's like, oh, should you pull it down? Like, is it too much? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, man.
Like, engaging is fun. Right? Like, and they're mostly fucking bots and dumb fucks anyway. They're not, like, half of them aren't even real. Oh, shit! We're at an hour.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Marito.
I gotta dip.
Yeah, I know.
He's got to leave.
I'm coming.
He's got to leave. All right. Well, I guess we have to. And I didn't.
We could do one more quick thing, but then we'll.
Could do one more. Can we do one?
I'm gonna go now,
just
though,
to go,
because they're waiting for me.
You go.
Are you going?
Are you gigging?
I have to, bro.
Are you gigging?
No, it's my cousin's birthday.
Oh, go to your fucking cousin's birthday.
I didn't realize it was already that time.
Holy shit. Go. Well, let's end the podcast right now. Let's end it so you can go. You want to go?
Okay, sure.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you want to? Do you want to plug anything?
I don't got anything to plug, man. Just follow me on social media, man. If I can need it so bad.
Thank you so much for watching the podcast. Thank you, Harbour Podcast Studios.
I'm coming.
Thank you very much. Oh my God. Oh fuck God. That's what's wrong this week.
Hey, thank you for having me, Simon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fuck.
Fucking awesome.